Welcome to another proven sales letter breakdown video. My name is Csaba, and for 100 days I'm breaking down proven ads, sales pages, sales letters from the best copywriters and marketers of all time. And today I got another Clayton Makepeace for you. Actually, it's funny, Makepeace piece. But anyway, it doesn't take away from the fact that Clayton Makepeace was one of the best copywriters ever. He basically invented a lot of the things that we're still using to this day. And this promotion actually was a foundational one because it launched a subscription called Health and Healing. It was a newsletter for Phillips Publishing. The company was called Phillips Publishing, and over the course of several years, this with a few other of Clayton's packages have mailed over 100 million pieces, which is quite a lot. Like, think about trying to mail or sell stuff that goes out to 100 million different people. It's definitely a lot. And it basically launched like an 8-9 figure company just with good copy. So this is yet again a great example and a great lesson on why effective copywriting is so powerful, because it just gets people to convert. That's the number one job of good copywriting, to get people to act. And this actually along with a few other subsequent promotions, I think it generated around 2 and 3 million customers. So between 2 and 3 million customers. So if you're thinking, how do you know that these things work, Csaba? Do you have any proof for it? Well, 2 or 3 million paying customers would be pretty much good proof enough, right? So let's just go through it, and I promise to keep this video a little bit shorter because all my recent videos have ran into 45 minutes or something like that, which in today's world can be a little bit too much for some people. So I don't want to spend so much time on individual elements and on the higher level strategy. But if you don't know what megalogs are, if you're new to my entire channel, then I definitely recommend you watch several of my previous proven sales letter videos as well. I'm gonna leave a link to the entire playlist in the description section. You should definitely check it out because you're gonna find great case studies there from the greatest copywriters of all time, including Clayton Makepeace, as well as a lot of other people as well. And then you're gonna get a lot of great marketing, direct response marketing lessons there as well for free. And by the way, if you're loving these videos, then make sure to like the video and also subscribe to my channel, because I do release these videos daily, and that way you'll be the first to know when I release a new one. So let's see what's happening here. First of all, we have an image of a doctor, which is very important because it gives the whole thing proof. People trust doctors, people trust authors and experts and authority type of figures in white lab coats, and it's the same case here as well. You also have the stethoscope on the doctor itself, and then the headline goes, "Give me 90 days and I'll help you," and a few types of benefit-driven bullets under this headline. Now, this is actually a pretty famous headline formula that a lot of other promotions have used. Give me X and I'll give you something. Give me 15 minutes and I give you push button memory. That's another famous headline, but it still works. You can still make it work. So let's see what these benefits are all about. Because remember, the target audience for this ad is middle-aged people who probably have health problems. They suffer from all sorts of chronic diseases. Maybe they're overweight, they have blood pressure problems, they might have arthritis problems, they might be afraid of getting cancer, all these big scary things that happen to you once you become a senior, and you have to face the fact that your body is breaking down. And Clayton knew this from research, and probably my guess is that we're gonna get a lot of very specific pain points in these bullets and very specific promises on what people can expect after they request for this specific product, this newsletter, okay? So let's see what's happening here. Give me 90 days and I help you avoid headaches, sleep problems, depression, and other everyday maladies. So this appeals to, like, let's just say everyday problems. The second one, unclog heart arteries that cause high blood pressure, stroke, and heart attack. This is a major like fear that our target audience has. Tap your body's natural reserves to beat fatigue and have the energy to do the things you love. Whenever you have a health-themed promotion or a health-themed market, it's always a good idea to appeal to energy, to bring in energy, because people want to have more energy. Whenever they start feeling sluggish, they hate it. And even to this day, a lot of supplement offers and things like that, they all use energy, like get more energy. Avoid and even reverse the symptoms of arthritis and most forms of diabetes. Again, big major pain points in most of the US population, as well as basically every single Western population. And disease-proof your body and add many good years to your life. So disease-proof your body. What a nice little promise, right? And then add many good years to your life. Because even if let's say you pass 60 or 65, you still feel like you want to live life. You maybe have, you might have grandkids, you want to play around with them, you want to be active, It's very important for this target audience to be active, to be able to move freely, because movement subconsciously equals freedom, and it equals health, okay? So if people cannot move properly, maybe they have like a very, very nasty dose of arthritis, or they have other types of joint problems or something like that. They start, they're from a psychological point of view, they get more and more depressed, and they start feeling like, I'm just an old useless person, and it's not good from a mental side of point of view, okay? So whenever you can highlight and create a product that gives them more energy, gives them more even virility in those last few decades of their lives, usually it does pretty well. And then as a subhead, we have Life Enriching Program Boosts Your Body's Amazing Power to Heal Itself. From Dr. Julian Whitaker, America's #1 health champion. So we have immediate authority as well, like he's America's #1 health champion. He's a doctor, he looks like a nice guy, and we have a promise as well. So promise, proof. Also inside, escape the deadly medical trap that keeps you from feeling your best. So this is interesting because it brings in the fact that most common medical advice is probably not the best advice out there. And this prevalidates a lot of the emotions and a lot of the already existing beliefs that our target audience has, in the sense that, they're having problems, even though they might be going to the doctor. They go to their general practitioner or something like that, and they just prescribe drugs, and that's what they do in most cases. And they have a desire to, and they have this belief that there must be something else out there, that's better, that my doctor isn't telling me, that big pharma isn't telling me. And this little snippet definitely taps into that, in my opinion. So after the main page, we get to this little table of contents, which is very, very specific to this format as well, the Magalog. So the main thing here is that you get a teaser into the rest of the promotion itself. And because the whole thing with Magalogs, and this is a Magalog, is that you want to make the promotion itself valuable, because that's what people want to read. They want to read stuff that interests them, that gives them value. And then obviously it has a pitch as well, but like, if you help people to reframe their beliefs, if you give them enough value, they see that, you actually know what you're talking about, and they're much more likely to buy your product. And this table of content thing is actually a genius way to give people multiple entry points to get into your pitch, because maybe they're interested in foods that heal, okay, and 6 that kill. What a nice little bullet there. So they're gonna flip to page 12, and I'm sure that there's going to be some sort of mention of the main product at page 12, okay? But maybe they are interested in health lies that make you vulnerable to disease, because, they might have this pre-existing belief that, my doctor is actually screwing with me. And I know that some of the common advice that I get must be true, because otherwise, must be false, because otherwise there wouldn't be so many unhealthy people in America. So he's gonna flip to page 16. Or maybe, they are more interested in the 9 most common health fears and how to overcome each one. Okay, page 17. So multiple entry points. That's the name of the game here. On the left, we have a very nice little authority build-up section for our guru. He is the face of this brand. Clayton Makepeace wrote the copy. He's the mastermind behind this whole thing, but Dr. Julian Whitaker is the guru who is behind this whole brand. Okay, and it's very important to establish him as an approachable go-to expert. Okay, that our target audience can definitely associate themselves with. So after this table of contents, this is the normal start of the sales letter itself. So we basically repeat the headline. So give me 90 days and I'll help you, all the things. And then let's just look at the lead. I'm going to read this lead a little bit. So this is the first few hundred words of a sales letter, which is in charge of getting people to read more and more of the sales letter itself, because the more they read, the higher the likelihood that they'll buy something. So let's see how it goes. And notice how it's all about establishing an emotional connection, teasing a benefit, maybe a unique mechanism as well, but then not giving everything away all at once, okay? It's just like a trailer. It's like an executive summary, but in a much more desirable way, because your job here in the lead is to get them interested in reading more. So it goes like this. As a doctor, I'm concerned, no, maybe that worried, that you're probably not getting the quality of medical care you need or deserve. Like, do you think our target audience can associate themselves with this? Definitely. Then we continue. It's an old saying that nothing is more important than your health. But if you're like most people, you're not getting vital information that can help you avoid disease, have more energy, and even get rid of medical conditions you have. It's my job to care. In fact, it's much more than a job. It's a lifelong dedication, a passionate commitment to help you live a healthier life than you ever thought possible. That's why I've sent you this urgent report. It contains dozens of things you can do now to feel better and live longer. They're taken from my Health and Healing newsletter and from 99 Secrets for a Longer, Healthier Life, a free report I want to get into your hands as soon as possible. These advances are based on a discovery that's revolutionizing the practice of medicine in America. It's by far the best health news of the 20th century. So this is the lead, basically. And notice how it's, as I said, it's establishing an emotional connection. It positions this guy, Dr. Whitaker, as like a very likable person who's there to help you, the reader, who's the target audience. This lead is also teasing like a free report that people are gonna get, that the doctor considers this report very urgent, like he wants to rush this into your hands so that you actually get saved by it. Okay, and all these things, they build curiosity in the reader. Okay, they want to read more, they want to find out more, and it also teases the Health and Healing newsletter. So by basically proclaiming that I'm giving you a bunch of free tips from my Health and Healing newsletter, like it also acts as a demonstration of how good this newsletter actually is, right? Because like imagine if people find these tips helpful and they find that these are free and they are so good actually, imagine how good the main paid product has to be, right? So once again, it establishes a nice little frame of reference for people to buy later on. And then we continue and notice how everything is very, like, it's not marketese at all. It's not overly salesy. It's not aggressive. It's not like, hey, buy this product. It's relatable, right? It's just like he is talking to you right now. That's the main goal here. Let's just continue. Getting sick is neither natural nor unavoidable. Believe it or not, that's big news to many medical professionals. Doctors have always told us it was normal to get sick. They even blamed natural causes when people died of heart disease or stroke or cancer. So this paragraph, what does it do? It basically establishes all other conventional advice as an inferior, okay? So this is a great entry point. This opens a loop so that later on you can position your product and your service as something superior, which really is the truth itself, because most conventional advice isn't the truth. And people, like, they already have a feeling that this is true, but they don't want to. They still need that encouragement from an expert like Dr. Whitaker, so that they actually become open and receptive to hear the truth itself. Think about that for a moment. If you have an automobile that runs on regular gas and you put diesel fuel in it, your car will stop running. But would your mechanic be silly enough to suggest that it broke down due to natural causes? Of course not. He knows better. What a nice analogy, right? Again, if you include analogies in your copy, that makes people imagine and basically be much more receptive to your message, much easier. So, of course not, he knows better. But now, we know the doctors have been wrong all along. Getting sick is neither natural nor unavoidable. Here's the big opportunity, right? We know that disease is often caused by the way we live and by the food, water, and air we put into our bodies. No hospital can protect you against heart attack or cancer, but you can. So, yeah, it's a pretty nice lead, right? It gets into the problem. It showcases what people in our target audience already believe, so it reinforces it, and it establishes like the unique mechanism of the problem. It establishes how you're actually getting yourself sick by not being mindful of what you eat and what you drink. And just like a good analogy with diesel and gasoline type of fuels, and mixing it up in a car, people immediately grab the idea. It's like, oh yeah, it makes sense. If I put bad things in my body that my body isn't designed to consume, then I'm gonna become sick. Okay, it makes sense. That's what you want as a copywriter. And then, I'm not gonna read this right now, although it's super nice copy and I definitely encourage you to read it. But the pitch itself, not the pitch, the content itself continues, and there's probably going to be, a lot of content here as well, a lot of deconstructing false beliefs that people have. Maybe they've been conditioned from their childhood to eat this type of food or that type of food, or live like this or live like that. But according to latest research, this is actually false, and here's what you should do instead. Basically, this type of narrative is used in every single promotion that you can get your hands on, even to this day. So it's a formula that definitely works. And then we have some interesting subheads sprinkled through this copy, the body of it. Something like, you can reverse disease without toxic drugs or dangerous surgery. Like, just remember the thing that I said about false beliefs. People believe that the only way to get healthy or to reverse disease, especially chronic disease, is to get yourself on a lot of drugs or have surgery. Because this is what their doctors told them, right? So this way, we're basically busting that myth, and that's what starts resonating with the target audience. That's what builds emotional rapport with them, and it also starts. It also puts them into a mood and into a, let's just say, an emotional frame of reference in which they start believing that there's a cure, a better cure to their problems, which obviously we're going to introduce later on in the promotion itself. So sprinkled through this, we find a lot of interesting little inserts like this. So Probably in most cases, and actually it was Clayton Makepeace who came up with this. He said that whenever you start, writing copy, you should write a lot of bullets and fascinations first. So if you don't know what fascinations are, I've done a bunch of videos about fascinations, and I mention them in almost every single video. So make sure to check out some of the past videos. Again, link in the description below. But the best fascinations actually become little side notes on their own. So probably this started out as a fascination: 6 painless ways to eat less without feeling hungry. Because yeah, this is a pain point that a lot of people have. They feel hungry, but they don't want to eat more because then they become more fat, right? But the problem why they're hungry is because, their gut flora is out of whack, or like they've been addicted to sugar, let's say. And then we have very useful tips here that the research at that time really showed works, right? So a lot of tips, very beginner-friendly tips, but still, I mean, who knows? Maybe one of these tips will produce measurable results to one of our readers, and then because of that, they're gonna buy the product itself. So we have a bunch of useful tips like these best foods, or how to actually not be hungry. We have this 10 over-the-counter vitamins and supplements that help your body fight disease. So over-the-counter vitamins and supplements, it's this whole newsletter was an alternative newsletter, right? Alternative health. And before this, there wasn't really a big emphasis on alternative health, right? This was one of the first, and it was priced higher, okay? So if I remember correctly, how the story of this newsletter, this copywriting promotion goes, is that most similar newsletters were priced at $30 a year, but this specific one was priced at $39 a year. So 29, the original ones, and this one was 39. So it was more expensive, and it was alternative. So nobody knew whether this would work or not, but Clayton gave it a shot. He challenged himself, and he actually launched a big-ass company because of this, okay? So it definitely worked because of great copy. But just remember that the target audience for this is interested in over-the-counter things, in anything that doesn't have to do with drugs, that in alternative healing methods and stuff like that. Then we have other tips here. We have bullets and fascinations all around, like reverse diabetes. Vanadyl sulfate has been proven to reverse diabetes in laboratory animals. So some of these fascinations are just teasers, so you don't really get the answers for it unless you actually buy the product itself, and those fascinations will be much more dominant later as we get closer to the offer itself, to the pitch itself. But for now, we still have fascinations, but they actually give away the thing that the fascination refers to, right? Because a fascination, what is it? It's like, it's a little snippet that includes a benefit part and a curiosity part. And these fascinations give away the curiosity. But it's okay to give it away right now because you're just building more and more rapport and likability with the reader itself. So 5 easy things you can do now to feel better instantly. Again, we just expand some fascinations. I can tell you for a fact that this promotion started out as a list of fascinations at some point. And some of those fascinations got grouped towards the end, which relate to the main product itself. Some of those fascinations got used earlier, like here, and they got expanded into real content pieces. And some of those fascinations even became the headline and these little things, right? So that's why it's so super important to actually write good fascinations and know how to actually write those good fascinations. 5 facts your doctor can't tell you, but would probably like you to know. So again, just fascinations. Your doctor's job isn't to keep you healthy. Whoa, like, what do you mean my doctor's job isn't to keep you healthy? I had a feeling that this might be the case, but are you sure? Like, if this newsletter is also telling me that, maybe I should listen to it more. That's the reaction that's gonna happen in the reader, okay? Doctors are only human, so reasons and facts that make that makes sense in terms of why doctors actually have malpractices, or how they prescribe drugs that aren't actually good for you, or why they mess your body up, because they're busy, they don't even know it. Their job isn't to keep you healthy, is to make profits is to actually it's a controversial topic, but some of a lot of people in the target audience definitely believe that doctors are basically bought by health companies, by health company reps who give them a lot of bonuses in exchange for prescribing their drugs, right? So the whole thing continues. There's a lot of content here, very interesting things, and the reason for this is because, once again, you don't know which one is gonna hook actually the reader emotionally. Caution: private health insurance can be hazardous to your health. A very interesting point here, right? Because at this point, a lot of people might feel like, okay, I get it, but all these things apply to like public health insurance, right? I have private health insurance, so I'm protected. But no, Clayton knows this, and he answers this objection preemptively by saying that no, private health insurance also won't protect you. Here's why, and here's how you can actually solve the problem. And then we also have this little quiz here that I like, because it gets people into the action much more. It gets people readers to become more active. And whenever they become more active, it's much easier for them to rationalize buying something later on, because they've already invested time, energy into it, and cognitive power into it, right? How to know if you should fire your doctor. Can your doctor pass this test? So a lot of people will do this, and if they based on their answers, they're going to be much more likely to buy this later on. So we see images of our likable guru here as well, who says quotes like, "People with health insurance are often the target for costly, even dangerous procedures they don't need." So this probably prevalidates an already existing belief that our target audience has, and just reinforcing this, our target audience will feel like this guy really understands them. He understands their pains, fears, hopes, and dreams. They're going to trust him. And like, think about yourself. We always buy from people we trust, right? Or from brands we trust. Otherwise, without trust, it's very, very hard to actually buy something. And then we get into establishing why the product itself, which is Health and Healing, the newsletter, is unique. So we get into the unique mechanism that makes it unique. And we actually have very, very logical explanations to it, right? So this is also called reason why copy, because we have something like, "I'm not intimidated by the medical community's prejudices." So like, why it's unique? Because, I won't give in. So I'm better for you, dear reader. Then we have, "I'm free to tell you the truth." Again, my hands aren't bound because I'm not getting paid by big pharma companies. "I'm not content to just let you tolerate health problems you may have, because my mission is to help you, dear reader. I give you dozens of practical ideas to make you feel better every day, day by day." So this just shows, again, that this guy, Dr. Whitaker, he's a legit person who's there to help you, the reader. Notice this little insert, and the reason why it's cut off is because Magalogs, they have this two-sided, well, not two-sided, but like they open up like this. So it says treatments that are more lethal than the diseases they treat. What a nice special report, right? So you have very specific examples like heart bypass, a big pain point and fear of our target audience, radical mastectomy. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, so angiograms, again, no idea what that is, thank God. But yeah, this just is there to like scare people a little bit, so that and I like this image here as well. Like, think about it from our target audience's perspective. They might feel like all these very specific Latin words, they confuse them, and they feel powerless when it comes to their health. They feel like the doctor is God, and whatever he says, they have to execute, right? Even if it might be bad for them. So that's why if they subscribe to Health and Healing, they're gonna get a guide whose #1 mission is to help them. This guy, Dr. Whitaker, they're gonna get him, and they're going to be happier and healthier and more energetic as a result. So that's what we want. So we have another nice design element here. So notice it looks just like a magazine. Do you think that this is a sales page? It is, by the way. It's a sales page and a sales letter, but it doesn't look like that. It's definitely covert. It looks like a magazine. It looks like I don't know, something from a health journal or something like that, right? So it gives a lot of value. It looks like a valuable magazine, and that's why it doesn't really trigger people's bullshit detector so much, and that's very important in copywriting. So you have a lot of vegetable foods that heal, meats that heal, and 6 foods that kill, prime rib. It's probably all about cholesterol and like fat, because back in like 1992 when this was written, all the rage was about low fat. Now we know that it's more it's more like low carb, but who knows in 20 years or 30 years what the dominant health fad is going to be, because you can have 1,000 research pieces in one side and you can have 1,000 research pieces on the other side, and who knows what the truth is. It probably depends on your genetics and a lot of other things, but like it's all about this specific promotion based on the research that was available back then. It's all about how to minimize your fat intake, right? Also, like light junk food, how healthy it really is. So like you still get so many calories from fat, right? This, once again, it busts a myth that people have. Nowadays, people want to go keto. They want to go paleo. They want to eat fat with like not much carbs, right? But back in those days, all the alternative health stores and brands were selling low-fat things. Now the alternative stores are selling paleo things, right? It's the same old thing. It's just that seasons change, mechanisms and explanations change and tactics change, but the fundamentals of human psychology, the fundamentals of persuasion and salesmanship itself doesn't change. And here's a great example of that. So we have like other stuff from the food pyramid. Shame on you, USDA. Bureaucrats cave in to food lobbyists again. This is another pre-existing belief that our target audience definitely has, and we're just validating it. So they will feel like, yes, I knew it all along, so I want to learn more about it. And then boom, here's this little bonus that you get when you get our subscription to Health and Healing. So 99 secrets for a longer, healthier life. And the copy also says, as I told you earlier, much of the information in the special supplement is taken from 99 secrets for a longer, healthier life, a new report I've created to help you enjoy the good health you deserve. You'll get a copy free with your 1-year subscription to Health and Healing, 12 issues for $39.95. So as with any other type of health promotion or financial promotion, we always hype up the bonuses first and like give people a lot of value, and then we mention how they're gonna get all these bonuses for free when they actually get a yearly or 2-yearly subscription to a specific type of newsletter. So because it's a better hook to say, hey, you're gonna get all these stuff for free and I'm gonna give it to you for free. It's a much better hook in the beginning, right, than to say, hey, buy this, and when you buy it you also get a bunch of bonuses. That can also work, but it's not so good. So we're getting to the end of the sales letter, and we have more proof elements from the authority here. So we have Julian Whitaker, America's leading advocate of a safer, gentler approach to better health. So we have more we get introduced to the philosophy of Dr. Whitaker, like what he believes. There's a bunch of quotes here. It just serves to establish him as an expert that people can actually trust, right? So you have even more And at the same time, this is proof. You have the promise section to the left, which pumps up the benefits of the free report, because when you get this free report, you're going to get all sorts of great stuff, including 4 ways to reduce your blood pressure without drugs, 3 ways to reverse diabetes without drugs, 5 ways to lower your cholesterol without drugs. So it's all about without drugs, because we know from research, I mean, Clayton probably knew from research that for this specific target audience, drugs is a big no-go. So they want healthy options which doesn't involve drugs, because everybody knows that drugs mess you up and they're unhealthy. So then he basically takes all the common problems that our target audience has, like blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, cancer risk, heart problems, heart damage, arthritis, and then combines it without drugs. So this is very, very intriguing and desirable for our target audience. So then we have a testimonial as well about Dr. Whitaker, very important. And then we have 7 health lies you've been told. How nice this design is. No, it's not. No way. It's too late to start living a healthy life. No, it's not. So again, shifting beliefs, last minute objections that people have, because at this point they might feel like, Dr. Whitaker, you're right. I know I should be healthier. I know that your product is probably good. I like the bonuses, but it's too late for me. And I get this from my mother as well, for example. She's 62 years old now, so it's not that old, but she sometimes says stuff like, I'm old, so it doesn't matter anymore. Like, why should I start, exercising more and doing more cardio? I'm already old, so it doesn't matter, right? No, it does matter, because your body is still your body, and that's why we have this little insert here. So 7 healthy lies you've been told. You're not smart enough to do this. You should leave everything for your doctor to take care of. So it combines the things that the last minute objections that people have when it comes to taking the matter of their health into their own hands, right? And to the right of it, we have more info regarding the product, like how you're getting a great value, how if you pick the higher priced option, you're getting even more bonuses, how there's going to be like a money back guarantee, like try health and healing for 90 days without obligation, 90 days full refund, you get a second bonus, how to lose weight without dieting. What else do you want? Like, people want to lose weight without dieting. That's what they want, right? So it's really, really something that all the bonuses, like, it's a great idea usually to make your bonus as desirable as possible, because people sometimes they buy the product because of the bonuses. And if you can make your bonus super desirable, then it's going to do well. 9 most common health fears. So again, here, all objections. I'm afraid my doctor doesn't really hear what I'm saying. I'm worried about the medicines I'm taking, the side effects, and how they might interact with each other. All these fears alleviated. And then to the left, we have the pitch. It continues. And then at the end, we have the sign off from Dr. Whitaker, and then fast response bonus, stay mentally sharp for the rest of your life. Another pain point, because a lot of people are afraid of Alzheimer's, and this especially goes out to even more senior people, but something like this might knock people off the fence, definitely. So fast response bonus, stay mentally sharp for the rest of your life. It can work really well. And then, we get a pricing table, actually, of what you get with each version. Like, with the 1-year subscription, you get this bonus, and you get this bonus. But with your 2-year subscription, you get with the 1-year subscription, you only get 1 bonus. With the 2-year subscription, you get 2 bonuses. And if you act right now, so 10-day fast response bonus, then you also get how to stay mentally sharp. And you also get like an extra bonus, 10 secrets to better sex life, because it's a big pain point. Like, even if people turn 60 and more, I mean, some of them might still want to get good sex in their lives, right? I mean, life doesn't stop there. Children have gone away to universities. They might have their own lives, their own jobs, their own families, and suddenly the parents are left home, and some of them even experience a new sexual revolution in their lives, a new renaissance. So finally, we have the order form, which is called subscription certificate. So it's not like risk-free trial certificate, which would be better, but it's called subscription certificate. It's still something really cool. Notice how it's first person. Obviously, we've already covered this many times, how your call to action should be in first person. To the left, we have order information and a money back guarantee as well. This is just to alleviate that last minute risk. And then we have the excellent offer, the very best offer, and the fast response bonus. So we want people to take one of these and also take this, right? So obviously they're going to take this. You know, some of the later designs for these also had like a pre-ticked box here, which is a more advanced psychological technique. It just shows that if that's pre-ticked, it's going to increase the likelihood of people ticking this or this as well. You have your payment information and then some ordering instructions as well. And this is just an insert that was probably mailed together with the main sales letter, just as a table of contents. Because once again, inside this issue, the medical crime of the century, 13 foods that heal and 6 that kill, 7 health lies that make you vulnerable to disease. So all these little very short fascinations, they serve as multiple entry points for people to read more of the promotion itself. So yeah, that's it for this one. This is going to be the last Clayton Makepeace promotion that I cover for some time. But this wraps up a 4-part Clayton bonanza that I did to honor his memory, because about a week ago was his death anniversary, his 1-year death anniversary. He passed away in 2020, but he was a great guy, and I personally didn't know him, unfortunately, but he was a great guy, and he mentored so many other A-list copywriters and basically invented a lot of things that we're still using in copywriting to this day. So thank you so much for Clayton. I really appreciate all the lessons that you taught other copywriters throughout your career and journey. And thank you for creating all these great and very valuable pieces of advertisement that even like the new generation of copywriters can learn from. So I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you, dear viewer. If you're still here, you're awesome. Leave a comment below saying that you're still here. I'm going to respond to it, every single one, definitely. And also, if you enjoyed the video, then smash the like button right now. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And then stay tuned for the next video, because I have plenty of good stuff for you in the future. So thanks again. Have a great day.